In SAP, pricing is often treated as a complex process, and it can be a challenge for many companies or even well-experienced consultant to arrive at a specific price design for a customer or a vendor. And the main reason is that he or she needs to consider various price components in the pricing design. For example, taxes on goods are determined based on where the product is shipped to and from. Some of your customers may have favorable discount because they purchase goods in larger quantities or even volume or during busy times of the year like holiday seasons. You might also offer a bonus gift when the customer buys a certain product. These different promotion, discount, and taxes make the pricing determination complex. But it's also very important to make price determination as automated as possible and prevent manual overrides as minimal within your SAP ERP system. In this section of lecture, we will look at some key elements of pricing as well as demo of the live system on how the pricing function works. We'll go over some concept of various pricing determination such as discount, freight, taxes, and so on. Before we get into the intricacies of pricing, first, you need to understand some of the very basics. In SAP ERP, pricing can originate in the following two broadly divided functionality. Sales and distribution, also abbreviated as SD, and material management, abbreviated as MM. Pricing within SD module is used in various sales documents such as sales order, quotation, contract, scheduling agreements, inquiries, deliveries, credit memo, and debit memos. Similarly, in MM, pricing is used in contract, quotation, purchase order, purchase info record, sometimes abbreviated as PIR, and credit memos. To better understand the pricing as a business process, it is important for us to understand the organizational structure of the SAP ERP system and where all our pricing processes will fit into this organizational structure. In SAP, sometimes organizational structure is also referred as enterprise structure. These organizational structure represents various entities such as companies, distribution plants, manufacturing plant, business unit selling the products, sales channel, and purchasing organization. For example, your company within the SAP system can be represented by a company code ABC Inc. and its corresponding SD functions by sales organization, distribution channel, and division. The key element from an SD perspective, which is commonly referred as sales area, are sales organization, distribution channel, and division. Sales organization represents the selling unit and it's responsible for the product, services, liability, and returns. For example, a company ABC Inc. can organize to sell its product in US sales organization, Canada sales organization, and Mexico sales organization. These sales organizations are responsible for selling within their respective regions. Distribution channel, on the other hand, is the channel through which the product or services are sold. For example, a distribution channel can include retail, wholesale, and an online in our example. A division represents a business unit to which the product or services belongs to. It establishes a responsibility for profit from material and service perspective. Within each of the sales organization, you can have various product divisions that are responsible for certain groups of product. For example, the plastic division is responsible for plastic, while the computer division is responsible for selling laptops and desktops. By having a separate sales organization for US, Canada, and Mexico region, the company has a better flexibility in setting up pricing by region. And you will see it in more detail when I actually show you in the demo. Multiple distribution channel and division enable pricing to be controlled by product division and the channel through which it is being sold. For example, if the product is sold through the web, the company can offer better price to the customer because they are purchasing the product directly instead of going through some retail or wholesale distribution channel. So let's take, in our example, a company code which we can define in our SAP system as ABC Inc. So this company is currently the parent company, and then they have 3 different subsidiary companies located in 3 different regional locations. So in our example, let's say we have the company code ABC, which has a sales organization in US. They basically operate all their sales operation for US in the US territory region. And then we have another one which is for sales organization Canada, and they are responsible for selling and having their goods returns for Canada region. And lastly, we have the region for Mexico. Okay, so here we have 3 sales organization for US, Canada, and Mexico, and the company is operating in these 3 regions. Now, within the sales organization US, they are pretty much responsible for selling 3 product lines, and what I mean by 3 channels. The first one is through retail, so they have stores, then they have wholesales, and lastly, they also sell it online. So they do have an online presence when they're selling their product. But when it comes to Canada, they are really selling it through channels. So distribution channel is retail. So they have a brick and mortar store, and they also sell online. They do not have wholesale as a channel to sell in Canada. Lastly, when it comes to Mexico, they only sell through retail. So at a distribution channel, that's how it looks like for the companies, how they are operating within US, Canada, and Mexico. Now, each retail within US, they do sell all the 3 division, all the product divisions, the plastic, the computers, and lastly, well, in this case, let's take it out. Let's only take plastic and computers. So this company produces only 2 product lines, just to keep it simple, right? So similarly for wholesale, again, they sell both plastic and computers, and same goes for online. So pretty much they're selling these 2 product lines through the division organization of the company. So let's say for all retails online, and for all regions, they pretty much sell the same plastic and the computers. Now, so there's a concept of a sales area being defined as sales organization, the distribution channel and division. So if you take each of these segments and you demark them as one sales area, and the important in the pricing area is that when we sell or when we set up pricing procedures, we are setting up pricing procedures based on these sales areas. So pretty much that's how we demarcate a pricing procedure based on sales area. So you can define sales area as sales organization, then the combination of distribution channel, and lastly the division. So the combination of these makes one sales area within the organization structure. Let's review the purchasing organization structure now. Similar to SD organization structure, there is a purchasing organization structure within the purchasing of module. A purchasing organization procures material and services, negotiates conditions of the purchases with the vendor, and it's also responsible for all the related transactions. A plant, on the other hand, is the organizational unit that is typically responsible for manufacturing or distributing the products and services. The purchase organization and the plant can be used as an organizational element for pricing in material management. So let's take an example of a company that makes computer but sources all the components from various vendors located in Germany, the United States, and India. But to have a competitive edge, the company procures raw materials globally. To enable global procurement, a global purchasing organization has to be set up for this company. All the contracts, agreement, and the purchase orders are raised with this global purchasing organization to give the company a better visibility into the purchasing spend. The company can then leverage these spends for negotiating better prices with the supplier and getting their better prices for the product purchased and impacting the product costing, which increases the company's profitability. Keep in mind that there are other several non-organizational elements which are also part of the pricing strategy. Pricing can be based on customers, vendors, material, and material groups, just to name some of the few factoring elements. We will cover those topics in more detail throughout the upcoming session. So like in our example, where we have a company and that makes computers and sources this computer from all over the world. Not all over the world, but let's take an example of 3 locations. So what we have is a central or a global purchasing organization created, and then we have all these locations or plants in regional base. For example, the plants in Germany, plant in USA, and then plant in India, where all the purchasings are going through the central location, and they are connected through this global or central purchasing organization. And this central purchasing organization is responsible for creating contracts and agreement or POs with the vendors, so they can be all managed through them at a better price. Since it's a global purchasing organization, they would be responsible for making sure that all the purchasing is done globally or by a central location. Now let's review the different pricing types. Pricing type is a key aspect of the pricing procedure. As you can see, the pricing condition in SD can be broadly categorized into the following section: pricing, discount and surcharges, freights, and taxes. Pricings are nothing but the price list, customers or material specific prices, and custom pricing conditions. Example would be that we maintain certain customer specific prices in a separate condition table. If it's a little confusing, don't worry about it. When we go through some demo and examples, it will become much clearer. Discount and surcharges, on the other hand, are customer specific or material specific discount and price group discounts. Example would be that whenever a customer ABC places an order for certain type of product, we will give an additional discount of 15%. Or whenever a customer buys a product over $100, we'll give them a 2% discount, etc. All these discounts can be calculated in a separate condition type elements. Then there is a freight, and these are special type of charges that includes Incoterm specific pricing. For example, a commonly used Incoterm is FOB destination or freight on board destination. This implies that the ownership of the good is transferred to the buying company when a goods reaches the destination. Lastly, there are taxes, and these are levies or fees based on sales and purchases that we need to pay to the government. Taxes can also be tariff based on an export-import of a good determined by the departure country or the destination country. So we really have a broadly divided pricing conditions in 4 categories, or we can call them price types, or in our case we'll call them as pricing conditions. The first one is pricing or the price, and the next one is discount or surcharges, and then the third one is freights. So any shipping or anything related with shipping and handlings falls into the freight. And lastly, we have taxes. So within the pricing, we could have an example as simply as price list or material prices, or which are specific to each material. We could also have customer specific prices, which are basically prices specific to a given customer. So they all fall under pricing. Under discounts, you could have discount or surcharges specific to customers, or could be discount or surcharges specific to materials. We could also group them under price groups. So we can create price groups and assign discount and surcharges to them. Or we could have material price group. They are grouping, and we could use them for discount and surcharge calculation. Or it could be material combination with customers. So it could be a combination of material and a given customer. So these are some of the examples. You could go more than that. Similarly, for freight, you could have Incoterms based conditions. Incoterm 1, Incoterm 2, you could define different pricings elements for them. Same goes for taxes. Taxes pretty much is either domestic or export. So you could calculate taxes based on these two broadly divided area. So pricing conditions has four types. Broadly, we can divide them: pricing, discount and surcharges, freights, and taxes. Now, these were for the SD documents, but when it comes to material management, it's pretty much the same pricing conditions. They have broadly divided into 4. So again, under the pricing, they could be price list, material specific price list, or material specific prices. Then you could have vendor specific prices. Again, remember, this is material management. So instead of customer, it's vendor. And then you have contract specific prices. Similarly, under discounts, you could have vendor specific discounts, which applies only to specific vendor. You could have material specific discount or surcharges, price groups. Material price groups would be another one, and lastly would be material and vendor specific. So it's a combination of material and vendor. So they fall under the material management side of it. It's pretty much it's the same. It's almost the same as what you do have in SD document. When it comes to freight and taxes, I would say they are same as above.